Hi everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome to Digimon Liberator, the comic portion. Today we're going to discuss episode 6, part 2. So right off the bat, I felt like this part, as it implies, part 2 is obviously continuing the battle that was set up last episode. The battle between Shoto and Yao, I believe her name is Yao. Let me quickly just double check that really fast. I don't like to say the same word twice. Yeah. Excuse me about that. Thanks for your patience. Just as stated, episode 2 continues what was set up already. In the last episode, it seems like Shoto was down in his dumps, down in his luck. But of course, in typical protagonist fashion, as it turns out, Shoto actually had, if not a plan, at the very least, he was able to come up with plans while doing the card battle. So it was interesting to see a new kind of strategy that was utilized. I'm not going to lie, at this part when I was reading the battle, I was thinking to myself, "Wow, how is he going to get out of this?" When they've already done like the whole, I actually have this one technique that's going to bring out the card from my deck out to the field, even though I had no monster cards to begin with. And this time I do feel like it was quite a little bit different enough that it made it unique. Again, while reading, I did feel, oh, same mode. By the time Shoto was actually revealing his plans, though, I did feel again engaged with the battle mode, the battle section. I know I keep saying this, but I think it's important to note. As an individual who enjoys Digimon, I never really got into other card shows and properties. The only one I did get into was Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's really it. And I haven't seen any card-based shows really since I was young. So, or let me rephrase it: I haven't consumed any card-based property since I was young. So again, I am being biased because this is Digimon. I am reading it, but I'm not going to lie. First, again, the card aspect did catch me off guard, but I think the writers are doing a good job of maintaining that fresh, unique take on battling. And talking about that, I think that's a good segue. I did expect so Shoto brings out Terramon into the field, which I thought was cool. I feel like that was reminiscent to the good old days when the traditional partnership between the human and the digital partner. How when one is fighting the partner, actually the partner was always fighting, right? And they had the human would encourage the Digimon and everything like that. I like on this instance because it was a card battle. I was not expecting Terramon to play such a big role. I was actually expecting one of the other Digimon in Shoto's deck, maybe Muchumon, to digivolve into a new Digimon or a new partner, not a partner Digimon, but a new battle Digimon to help reclaim the battle, to help win the day. What they did instead, Terramon comes out into the field. Shoto tells Terramon that he needs him and he needs assistance. I like the panel where Terramon's listed as well. He looked quite cool. His panel is just him with his arms crossed and he's listening, and he's kind of off to the side as well, standing to the side, and he's listening to Shoto. So, and of course, Terramon assists Shoto with this plan. And when he turns into I'm always bad with names, Grand Zelmon, I believe, his next evolution was not what was introduced before in episode 2, or was it episode 3, but the previous ultimate or perfect evolution, but rather Terramon turns into medieval Gallantmon. I'm not gonna lie, when I read that, I did gasp a little bit, like, ooh, that's so cool, because again, as an individual who does participate in Digimon properties, I've only really consumed the anime and the video games. So for me, I haven't really seen medieval Gallantmon in a non-card setting. I don't think ever. I think for me, again, the only anime I haven't seen has been not Sabers. I'm sorry. It's Cross Wars and Appmon. So correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe medieval Gallantmon does make an appearance in those properties. But the other anime that I've seen, he's never made an appearance at all. So although this wasn't an anime, it wasn't the comic book format, I still think it was quite cool to be able to see, a fan favorite, but just a slightly different iteration of a fan favorite of Gallantmon, right? So yeah, I thought that was well done. Even the Yao, was shocked that it wasn't the Zyphermon, I believe his final form is, his perfect form. Or rather, it was the medieval Gallantmon. So that was fun, a lot of fun. Also, I did think I maybe misread or forgot a detail when Shoto tells Owen, Owen, this is my response to you. I thought to myself, oh, I must have missed something by accident. I'm going to have to reread this, I suppose. But as it turns out, that was actually by the writers being done on purpose. And that's actually the part that I want to read the quote. Well, actually, I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to read 2 quotes this time. So Arisa does ask Shoto, what did he mean by, when you said that you would give your response to what he asked about, what did he, let me just read from the beginning. What were you talking about earlier when you said that you would give your response to what he asked about? And the panel shows Shoto and he's looking off to the his front. He looks quite determined, and off to his feet is Taramon, who's just standing next to Shoto, just looking neutral. His neutral state is looking cool. And Shoto has ellipses, so he's not responding right away. And there's a slight, not a flashback, but the obviously trying to emphasize that that Shoto's thinking about the past, and the panels is very much a little bit cyberpunk, I would say, the way that the dialogue is being presented. And so the dialogue is Owen, are you really going? I want to play with you more. Shoto is having fun. Are you want to? Ooh, excuse me, everyone knows my cat. She knocked over a bottle. Is having fun. All you want to do, huh? If all you want to do is play around, I'm not the person you're looking for. I am not the person you are looking for. I'm gonna get stronger. You are weak. You don't have the passion to win. Shoto, don't you think? Excuse me. Don't you? Do you think you can find that? Do you think you can find that passion? If you can't, I never want to see you again. Those were some harsh words for a farewell. Another panel is of Shoto looking quite happy at the end, and he's actually petting the head of Terramon, and Terramon looks quite fine with that. I feel like Logomon would have been upset if Yuji did that. But of course, Terramon being so supportive, he's just looking at Shoto, looking quite content while his headpiece. One knows how Terramon looks, you know what I'm talking about, but I don't know if it's part. I'm not sure if it's like a mask or if it's like Gabumon. Gabumon's pelt. He wears a pelt, but it's not actually his fur, right? It's just something that Gabumon's wearing. So with Terramon, I'm not sure if that piece is part of his face or if it's just a mask. But again, Shoto is petting that. But to tell the truth, I don't remember the details of what he said. And so that's how it ends. So that's not how it ends, excuse me, but quick context. It turns out it gets revealed that Owen and Shoto actually grew up in the same area, the same neighborhood when they were younger, but Owen ended up moving away from the city, away from the town to a new area. So that's pretty cool. Out of the blue, I felt like, whoa, this connection. It is a bit random, but I think these writers did a good job of setting up. We're obviously going to come back to that in the future, that connection of the personal relationship that's between Shoto and Owen. I suppose that makes sense why Shoto took interest in the Lacunia game, the VR aspect of the card game, once he found out that Owen was playing. Maybe that was Shoto's way of maybe reconnecting, trying to meet up again with Owen Dreadnought. I'm really looking forward to this little slight detail, and I'm looking forward to see how they're going to do with it as well. So that was cool. And so another quote. So for the first time, I do have two quotes I want to look at. This one's at the beginning of the battle. Hey, and it's coming from Shoto. Hey, Owen Dreadnought. I don't care that you're number 2 in the world or a former champion. Get a load of this. And then the panel has, so the first panel just has half of Shoto's mouth, and the next panel is just white. And then after this is a panel of Owen Dreadnought just looking, part of his eye, part of his face obscured by his hair. Excuse me, that was a hiccup. And he has one of those teardrop, it's not blue, and indicating anxiety, but he has one of those teardrop anime/manga trademarks. Maybe he's a bit concerned, like, how is this, how dare this person I used to know speak to me in that way? But anyways, what you are about to see is my response. The next panel is just white again, and then where it says is my response has Shoto's hand holding up a card as he's about to play it, and it says whoosh. To what you asked before. So let me start that over. What you are about to see is my response to what you asked me before. And then Owen's even shocked a little bit, the panel of him with his mouth agape, asking, what is he going to do? And Arashi shouts, show them what you've got, Shoto. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. That's why I like this panel, because again, I think if one watches my videos, you're probably already aware. Any instance where Shoto, or any instance where the protagonist shows their the bravery or the strength despite looking like they're going to lose, I'm always a big sucker for that. So I do appreciate this panel, this scene, because it made it a lot of fun. Again, the first time I read it, I was a bit confused. I was like, oh, what is he talking about? The response to what you asked me before. That must have been from the previous episode. But I'm glad I didn't go backwards. I decided to keep on reading forward, and I made the choice. I'll reread those previous panels to see if I missed something after I'm done reading this for the first time. And again, I'm glad that I didn't do it right away, because as I continued reading, it gets revealed that Shoto was thinking about a memory from the past, not something that was stated in the present time. So, yeah, so again, to reiterate, I was feeling a little bit of the burnout of the whole card battle aspect, especially because I don't really engage with it. But the writers are doing a good job of making it different enough where even though I may not engage with it personally, I'm still enjoying seeing the strategies taking place. The whole you only have 2 shields left. Was it worth it to sacrifice 4 points or 4 points, not that, or whatever it states, 4 power to do that next move to digivolve to the next stage and whatever it may be, right? And again, the writing did subvert my expectations a little bit. I was expecting Grand Zelmon to Zyphermon or whatever his perfect form is, but instead we got Medieval Gallantmon. That's pretty cool. I liking how the card game, this iteration of Digimon, is accepting the whole VPET portion of Digimon. One part that the community always likes to have discussions about, and sometimes a little bit of debates as well, is the whole evolution line for the anime Digimon versus the VPET Digimon. Because when it comes to the VPET Digimon, most Digimon could turn into whatever they want to. Actually, I think it might be canon, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think Digimon could become whatever they want. There's no limitations. But obviously with the VPETs, it's not as free as that. There's still some limitations because then there wouldn't be so many different types of VPETs, right? But again, the point that I'm trying to make is that Gabumon can turn into Gurumon, but he could also turn into I'm trying to think of Hanuman. I'm trying to think of the actual Nightmare Soldier run, but I'm still not that well versed where I know it by memory. But if you engage with Digimon, then you know what I'm talking about. So it's pretty cool how I think, correct me if I'm wrong again, I think this is the first iteration of Digimon in an anime or a manga slash novel format where they're evolving into not the same linear line, but branching off a little bit. So I'm looking forward to see what other Digimon they're going to be doing that with. And I'm sure it's those people who are more engaged with the VPET community than the anime community, or rather more engaged with the VPET aspect of Digimon rather than the anime aspect of Digimon. They're probably appreciating this little detail. It makes me curious if maybe we'll be actually, here I am, and the perfect example with Digimon Ghost Game. We have Gamamon, who I think that was the first time where Gamamon was able to digivolve into multiple forms, not just one. But that wasn't a natural aspect. Sorry, excuse me about that. That wasn't a natural aspect about Gamamon. Whenever he did transform and evolve into a new form, the other Digimon would be impressed and shocked about that. So obviously in that version, while Gamamon was unique for doing that, it wasn't natural. It wasn't traditionally what was done when it comes to evolving. Seeming more like when it comes to this instance of Digimon, this iteration of Digimon, the whole multiple lines of evolution is already ingrained in the mindsets of everyone that it could be utilized as a plan. It could be utilized as a strategy to catch someone off guard. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's looking like Bandai Namco might be normalizing the multiple evolutionary line. And I'm excited to see how that might, if it is true, I'm excited to see how that'll look in an anime slash movie format. So I think that's everything I wanted to discuss about this episode. Again, this is episode 6, part 2. And continuing into tradition, I'm going to go ahead and read the last part. Actually, I've already kind of read the last part already. After Shoto thinks about what Owen said in the past, the comic ends soon after that. Oh, did I click out of that window? Excuse me. So what Owen really told me before he went away, therefore I had to get stronger. Excuse me, let's hiccup. Let me go back up a little bit more. So I read this part. To tell the truth, I don't remember the details of what he said, but I'd like to find out what Owen really told me before he went away. Therefore, I had to get stronger until he thinks I'm good enough. That day, and there's a panel of Ariza just listening, Kuboy said I passed a test after seeing me battle, which enabled Ariza and I to officially join the debugging team. Then it says to be continued. And one of the last panels, there's not too many panels, so I'm not describing them. And the last biggest one is one I described already, with Shoto petting Terramon on his mask slash facial detail. And one of the last major panels is of the D-Doc just getting a message, and it says new email. So I'm sure we're going to begin the next episode with that email being opened up. Just as always, I'm still enjoying Digimon Liberator. I was feeling a little bit, I don't want to call it burnout, but I was feeling a little bit like, I don't usually watch or consume card-based properties. Maybe it'll be fine if I take a break this week. But I'm glad I made the choice to continue reading. And again, as a reminder, this obviously came out just on Thursday, but with the novel, for example, I don't read everything right away. I always make sure to read it once a week to give me something to look forward to. So, yeah. I guess for my question for everyone for this iteration is, were you shocked that Shoto had a personal connection to Owen Dreadnought? Or have you consumed enough stories where you kind of figured, I knew something like that was going to occur? for me, it did catch me off guard. I was not expecting that personal connection. And again, I am looking forward to see what the writers are going to do with that. As always, everyone, I do thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a prodigious day. As a quick tangent, excuse my hair. I'm not going to lie. The only reason why I haven't cut it yet is because I like to go before it opens. And I either have a choice. I could either do my videos in the morning, or I could go ahead and go get my hair cut. And unfortunately, I was going to get my hair cut this week, but I didn't do my videos early the way I was supposed to have my morning for today free. I'm being vague with my days on purpose. Again, I know it sounds silly, but I'm a private individual. Even with saying something like a specific day of the week, if I don't need to disclose it, why disclose it? But hopefully that doesn't make me too weird. But yeah, again, I just want to quickly explain because I do feel a little bit self-conscious about my hair. This is the first time it's ever been this long, but I am planning on trimming it shortly. I'm just being lazy about it. Again, thank you for watching. To reiterate, everyone, my question for this episode is going to be, were you shocked about the connection between Shoto and Owen, or for you was that obvious, and you're fine with what's going to occur from that? Again, thank you, everyone. Have a prodigious day, and take care.